All right, it looks like the number of people coming in is starting to slow down, so I think we can go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ken Garcia. I'm the Senior Communications Manager here at NCCER, and you are here to talk about Automated Remote Proctoring, a wonderful tool that we offer here at NCCER in partnership with Invigilus. We've got Nick Dalton joining me today. He is our remote proctor guru, so he'll be able to walk us through this. And then Stephanie is going to be helping answer any questions that you may pop up. So if you do have any, please do put them in the Q&A. And if you happen to put them in the chat, we will make sure we're keeping an eye on that as well. So without any further ado, please know that we are recording this and we will be sending you the recording. And we will also have it up on our website, nccer.com. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and hand this over. I'm being told the chat is disabled, so I'll work on that. In the meantime, Stephanie, just keep an eye on the Q&A. And Nick, take it away.
All right, thanks, Ken. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to briefly go over what the automated remote proctoring is and hopefully answer a lot of your questions. And we'll get kind of jump right in it just so we don't take up too much time. I'm going to be sharing a presentation with the automated remote proctoring. So just hang tight for me while I share my screen. And let me do this. Okay. And do this. All right. So this is the NCCER automated remote proctoring. Ken and Stephanie, can you give me a heads up and let me know? Can we see the screen? Okay, perfect. So what we're doing is we're automating the remote proctoring process. It's basically we're using a company called Invigilus, and it's a browser technology, and we'll get into that in just a minute. So they provide the software that helps all of this run. So I'm going to start out by giving the advantages of using the automated remote proctoring. So the module testing, it streamlines everything. It gives the students the flexibility to log in, take tests wherever and whenever they choose, meaning 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Our first test taker that used it was in his pickup truck at work on his lunch break on a laptop. So it really offers that flexibility. They don't have to drive to a testing location to take these module tests. One thing I did want to cover is, for all of our pipeline users and assessment centers, this is not available just yet for the assessment side. And the pipeline, it's through PIMSA rules. We are not allowed to do any remote proctoring. That's the basic or the automated. So I just wanted to let you know that right away. Anyway, so we'll get, it does make it easy. I wish we could offer it for the pipeline, but we are working on that. The other thing that it does is it allows the instructors to assign the tests without even having to coordinate any times and locations, and it frees up that time for those instructors. So on our next slide, I'm going to show you basically how easy it is. This is as an instructor. What you're going to do when you log into the NCCER single sign-on, you're going to select your testing location, and the way we identify that is with an R and then the dash. So right here, for example, we have the R dash NCCER training unit. Could be an ATEF or anything like that. But you'll notice you'll have a new, once you sign up, it'll have a new testing location for you to select, and that's where you're going to assign your tests. And the next slide, you just would normally go right back to your test assignments. And then you just assign the test as you normally would right here in the manage test section of your the testing system. So as an instructor and assigning tests, that's all you're doing. You're not doing anything different than you did before with your regular training unit. So now I'm going to show you from the student or the test taker side. They're still going to log in the same way on our NCCER.org homepage. They're going to go to the top and click Take Module Test. They're still going to log in with their ID, their NCCER card number, and their last name, and then select their test. And right here is where it gets a little bit different for them. They're going to see a new page pop up, and it'll be the Invigilus page, which is the company that we use. So what they're going to do is they'll see this screen over here on the left, and they're going to read through the instructions here, and then click this Take Exam button. Once they click that, on the next page, it's going to pop up, and they're going to have to allow their camera and their microphone to be accessed, and Invigilus will ask for those permissions. And then it's going to be built in once they get the test started. This is a sample image of what it looks like on the test taker's screen. Once they get this test started, it's called browser and browser technology. So there's no need to download anything. They don't have to download a plugin or an additional software or anything. Invigilus runs in a browser. And then this actually in this box right here, this is our TAO testing system that we use. So nothing is different about the tests. As you can see, I kind of highlighted a couple things on the left side, and this is for the test takers. If they click this X right here, it'll slide this pane over, and they can see more of the testing screen. So if they're having a hard time seeing the screen, they can slide that over. They just have to remember when they're finished to click the stop recording. So what I'm going to do before we leave this page is I wanted to go over some of the security of what Invigilus offers. So with the security, since it's browser and browser, the test takers are covered by the browser security, which is either Chrome or Firefox, whatever they're choosing to use. They're on that level of security as they're testing. Now on the back end, with the recordings that we have to audit and to review, the data warehouse that Invigilus uses has multi-layer security. So, and they only keep the videos for 30 days. So we have to review those videos. If there's something that we think is amiss or, that needs to be corrected, we only have 30 days to review those videos, and then they get removed permanently. So the test taker, from a test taker's perspective, it's extremely secure environment. They're not downloading anything. And that just helps for peace of mind. So it's really that easy. I mean, it's, I can't tell you enough. So, that's the end of this portion of the presentation. But we wanted to really open this up today for a lot of your questions, and we'll kind of go over that. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I know that price is going to be a big question. I already see some of those in the chat, and we'll kind of cover some of that. So right now, the cost is $3 per test, and that's whether the student passes or has a training recommended. We are in conversations. It's going to take a little bit of time of putting a subscription model in place. We don't have an exact date on that and what the price is going to be, but we are working diligent to get a subscription model out there. Let's see some of the other questions.
So Nick, there are some questions in here. Some are
Sure.
asking about, are they still able to do testing in person? In other words, that's still an available option, yes?
Absolutely. So in person is even, so I just was on the phone with someone the other day, and we were talking about, they were really, they want to have their students test in person, and how could they use this to their advantage. Well, what they were doing was, right after they were testing and taking their module tests, was they were doing their performance profiles immediately after the module test. So what this does is it frees up the proctor that hour, however long you want to block off for the test, to get everything ready for your performance profiles. If you need to print those out, if you need to get the room set up to be able to administer the PPs afterward. The other thing that, when you're testing in person, even if you're not doing the performance profiles afterward, is it actually, instead of having to focus in on your proctor screen the entire time, you can allow your focus to be more on the test takers themselves. So the advantage is we're doing the work of authorizing those tests. It automatically authorizes the students and the test takers. We're taking the work out of having to go into the testing system, having to figure out, did the student start the test a week ago? Do I need to take out the test date? All of those common issues that come up. It just eliminates the need for all of that. So I even recommend doing that, using the automated remote proctoring for in-person testing as well.
Nick, somebody asked a question. They wanted you to show them how to assign the test again.
Absolutely. So let me go in here and I will
And I guess that
restart
would be available to them after they have visited the website to sign up for the process, and then they would be able to do this, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And really quick, I did see just somebody had asked about pipeline, and I will go over that again. Currently, we cannot offer any remote proctoring, whether that's the automated or the basic for pipeline. It is a PIMSA rule, so we can't do any of that. So let me share my screen now. And let me do this, and we will show you I'll show you the how to assign the tests again. So you just give me a second here. There we go. And we'll get this up. So again, as the instructor, you're logging into from the NCCER homepage. You're going to log in, and from the single sign-on quick links, you're going to select the module testing. The next page you're going to see is this Selector testing location page. This is where, once you're signed up, you'll have a button in there or a location to select that has the R dash in front of it and whatever testing location that you're training at or you're instructing at. Now, from there, it's the same exact thing as selecting your test assignments. And then you're going to assign the test as you normally would. Now, this would be your list naturally, or if the test isn't on the list, you can click the add test button and you're going to assign your test takers there. So you're not doing anything different as far as from assigning the test standpoint. You're literally doing the same exact thing as before. The only important step that you have to remember is to just make sure you're assigning at the correct location.
And Nick, there was a question someone asked about there being a need to verify their identity. What does that look like?
Sure.
And what does that include?
Yeah, absolutely. So Invigilus will ask for the driver's license so that we can compare and make sure that that is the test taker. Now, we understand, especially in the high schools and some of the lower school levels, that not all test takers are going to have an ID. So it's not a 100% requirement. We do, we ideally would love for them to have that. If the test taker does not have an ID or a government photo ID, they can still test. And if we think that there's any kind of issue with that, then we'll reach out to the sponsor rep, possibly the instructor, just to kind of clear it up and make sure that that's what's happening.
And
that it's
Nick,
the correct test taker.
Excellent.
Sorry.
And Nick, if you could, I know Stephanie's writing this answer, but for everybody, can you kind of clarify what you mean by not being offered on the assessment side? What does that specifically mean?
Absolutely. So right now, we do not have any remote proctoring offered, whether it's basic or automated or any assessment tests. Those all have to be done in person still.
I've got a question that just, go ahead, Stephanie.
No, I was going to refer to this question this question earlier. It says, will there be someone available that is actively proctoring, or is this just recorded? I'm not really sure what this means, but the system records and proctors the test, so there is no need for anyone to be available. So I'm not sure if that answers the question, but I wanted to kind of throw it out there and kind of clarify. I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be said about it.
Do we as a training unit have to enroll for remote, or is it automatic?
Nope, you still have to enroll. And what we'll do, we'll post the link here in just a minute, and you can also find it on our automated remote proctoring page from the NCCER homepage. There's still in our dynamic header on the banner that goes across, there's the automated remote proctoring. And then Ken just put in the link for everyone in the chat. If you still can't find it, please reach out to anyone here at NCCER, either our support team, and we can get you that link to sign up. The only thing that we're doing is we're just kind of making sure that the location is set up and able to do that. And once you get signed up and approved, you're going to get all of the, well, there's only 2 guides, but there's one for the instructors that shows you how to assign the tests and how to pick the correct location. And then one that we ask that you get to the test takers. So that'll help them navigate with Invigilus and getting them up and running.
And this system's available now. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. So we launched April 6th and we've been up and running, and we've had extremely successful, test sessions. Every once in a while, the one thing students can't use is Safari. They're still working on that. But that's pretty much the only limitation with a student. I did see a question in there as far as using tablets. Currently, right now, they cannot use tablets. It does need to be a laptop or a desktop with a camera and a microphone. They are working, Invigilus is working on a solution for a tablet. It's just not there yet, and we have to vet it on our side. Okay, here's a question here. So if the student doesn't get the passing grade, a 70%, does the automated system automatically reassign in 2 days? It does not. This is only for the proctoring portion. So once the test taker, if they get a training recommended, then the instructor would have to go back in and reassign that test.
One question came in. I think this one, Stephanie, you were addressing earlier, but I think what they are looking for, like any special accommodations somebody may need. For example, they may need some extra time or having someone read the test to them. Are those accommodations not possible with automated remote proctoring?
The extra time is not possible. They still get the 1 hour time limit. And then with the accommodations, you can still accommodate if they have the read aloud. That's still okay. But as far as adding extra time, there's not a function in the system to allow that just yet. We're still kind of working on that. This is a very new system, so we want to, make sure that it works correctly if we are going to be able to add that feature.
And people can do both. They can do automated remote proctoring, or they can continue to do in person, correct?
That is correct.
If the student states to contact the test administrator, would that be NCCER support, or should they be reaching out to the person who assigned their test?
First, they would want to contact the person that assigned the test. And then if we need to elevate it and there's still an issue that's persisting, then please reach out to us and we can absolutely troubleshoot that and get that taken care of.
How are instructors notified of student scores?
So once the student, so this is kind of the way it works. So once the instructor assigns that test, that student can take the test at any time, any day. Now, it's up to the instructors or the training unit to clarify to the student when they want that test taken by, whether there's a deadline or not. So once that student has successfully taken that test, the instructor can log in to the testing system just like they normally do now and check the score reports and see how the student did. So they would just log in and check their score reports like they are currently doing. They can even look on the proctor screen themselves if they want and check the scores there as well.
If we have multiple schools, do each schools need to enroll if we choose to continue with remote proctoring?
Yes, Lisa, that is correct. So each location, each testing location that you're using is going to enroll for the automated remote proctoring.
And if, as part of an ongoing curriculum, could they do a combination? In other words, some tests may be in person, some could be automated remote.
Absolutely. You can, I've had locations where they just use it for their retests, stuff like that. So they didn't want to schedule a special class just for that. So they'll have the students take the automated remote proctoring at their own time. And so it can be a hybrid, whatever works best for you. They can test, all in person. They can test 3 tests automated remote proctoring. It's up to you. It's the solution is whatever works best for your location.
Do students have to wait 24 hours if they fail to retake?
They still have it's 2 days, so it's 48 hours. And Tanya's asking the
Yeah, I was gonna say
Chromebooks.
Chromebooks.
Yep.
Yep.
So Chromebooks actually can be used as long as it's not a tablet, but the Chromebook laptop can absolutely be used.
I'm not sure if this one you could answer, Nick, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
completed about 11 students this year. My question is for 6th edition. I have not seen a test for Build Your Future 00100. Is there one?
For edition 6, yes, there is.
Is there an enrollment fee?
There is not an enrollment fee. I did see that, Shelley. Yep, there is not an enrollment fee. It is free to sign up, and the only fee that you're going to pay is the testing fee for right now. And I'll repeat it again. I'm not sure if everyone was here, but we are looking into a subscription model. We're just not sure exactly when that's going to launch.
And once again,
okay.
iPads, it's still not
Yep.
available on iPads.
Not available. Yeah. There's an issue, and I'll explain that a little bit. And we tested it out. There's just an issue with the control of the camera on tablets. It's not just iPads, but it's also for like the Amazon Fire tablets and stuff like that. That seems to be, an issue. There is a workaround that's being worked on with a cell phone. So it'll be, the test taker would test on the tablet and using the cell phone as the camera. We just need to vet it, and we're just not there yet, but we're going to be close here pretty soon, hopefully.
And once again, I put the information to Automated Remote Proctoring, the link in the chat there. And I can tell you, when we were first rolling this out, Nick had me go in and actually try to take the test. And I can tell you it was very, very easy from a user standpoint. I hadn't even looked at a how-to list yet. I just kind of looked at it and it was that intuitive. So I think from a instructor point of view, it's very simple. And Nick, I think you can comment a little bit more on this.
Yeah.
But then also for the student and the test taker, it's almost just as easy, if not as easy.
Yeah, exactly. And once the student does it once, usually the browser actually remembers the settings. So it seems like every time after that, it's even easier. And the reason that's why, the presentation portion of it was so short is because there's not that much to it. It's so simple. And what I would highly recommend, just sign up for the automated remote proctoring. There's not a fee. Get in there, assign some sample tests, try it out. If you're kind of unsure of how easy it is, or if this is going to create a lot of confusion, and you can see that, the ease of use, the time savings, what it's going to save just in time alone of having to schedule all these tests, retest, things like that. It's kind of crazy. I know that once you try it out once, you'll see the advantages and the user-friendly use of it all. Everyone seems to just really gravitate towards it. And our users that have already been using it, they can attest. They use it day in and day out constantly. So I'm excited for everyone to be able to try it out, and I want you guys to be able to try it out and just give us some feedback, please. And if there's some things that we need to change, we'll definitely look at it. But as far as what we've seen so far, it's been it's a game changer. It really is.
All right, and before we run out of time, we got just a couple of quick ones here. Can they still log in using their social? Or I'm scared using socials. I don't know if
they can, yeah. And so that's actually logging into our testing system. So whatever form they were using, the test takers were using to log in, they can absolutely, use that form to log into the testing system. More often than not, they're using their NCCER card numbers. I don't know, each location's a little bit different, but the majority of our users do use the NCCER card numbers. If they are using their socials and that's worked in the testing system before, please continue to do that. That's totally fine. I do see Stephanie had asked, are the sample tests free? And they are.
Last couple of questions here. How do we sign up to do the automated remote proctoring at the site?
At the site. So just go to, you just click on, we have a button on the right-hand side that'll take you to a form that you'll fill out, and I'll get that form in and we'll review it, and we'll let you know. You'll get an email from us letting you know you've been approved. So it's very simple. You just fill out the form and click submit, and we take care of the rest.
And last question is, will the test be uploaded automatically into the registry? Will this eliminate the sponsor rep keeping records for an audit?
I'm gonna let Stephanie take this one.
So, the test does go into the registry just like normal. There's no extra paperwork that needs to be kept. As far as the registration and release forms, those still need to be kept for auditing purposes. So anytime you have a trainee that needs to take a test, they can be assigned a test through the automated remote proctoring, but everything that you would do prior to that, such as collecting the registration and release form, must be kept on file for auditing purposes.
All right, I lied. Last question. If I already have remote proctoring, I can continue using the system?
Yes, and I was just responding to that, Maria Lisa. What I have a question for you, and maybe you can just type that really quickly. You already have remote proctoring. Are you talking about the basic or the automated? Either way, I mean, you can still continue using either system, or you can use both. You can use the basic and the automated, however works best for you. So.
All right. Well, folks, we are running out of time here. So thank you all. We know this is a lot of information. There really is a lot of information here. So what I've done in the chat is I put in the contact information for customer service, as well as an email that you can send to. So if you have any more questions, and we know you most likely will, by all means, please do reach out to us. And again, this has been recorded, so we will be putting it up on our website. Because you registered, you will also receive this recording, and we will make sure to include a link to the automated remote proctoring page so that you can get more information. And again, all this contact information will be on there. So thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. We really appreciate it. And everyone, have a wonderful day.